I will show you grace by granting you death.
Yo, what's up guys, StirPhry here, and today we're gonna check out Mort. We're gonna take a look at his kit, see where and how to use him, how to gear him, and see if he is worth it to you. Mort is a 5-star grass type knight. He has an HP scaling unit, and he also has an S3 which causes injury. When using S3, he will also be granted with Rage. With Rage, his defense break on his S1 will ignore all resistance. He is also resistant to all stun and sleeps. This is his kit. His S1 is Extermination. He simply just hits you with up to a 50% chance to defense break. If he has Rage, like I mentioned, his defense break will ignore all resistance. The S2 is a passive, Absolute Dignity. It makes him immune to all sleep and stun effects. If he crits, he has up to a 40% chance to cast Sacred Blessing. Sacred Blessing will grant anti-crit to your entire team for 1 turn, and speed buff to himself for 2 turns. This can be activated only once every 2 turns. Now the S3 is Advent Mortalix. He will rip off his shirt, turn into a dragon, and stomp on everybody's face, inflicting injury. Afterwards, he will grant himself with a Rage buff, and the damage from this does scale off his HP much like the S1, and with the Soulburn, he will do more damage on the S3 as well. Where to use Mortalix? Not in any hunts because he doesn't provide any value there. Expeditions are pretty much the same. PvP, still trash in all aspects. If I have to give him something, I guess RTA would be the best place to use him, but I still don't think he provides too much value there. So how do you play Mortalix? You open your storage menu, you grab Mortalix, and you put him right in. No, but seriously, Mort is an HP scaling knight, so you want to stack some HP on him with some crit chance, with some crit damage, so that he can do some damage. His S3 does cause injury according to how much damage you do, and the heal scales off of the damage as well. Now the S3 does give him Rage, which makes the defense break on his S1 ignore all resistance. However, the defense break on the S1 is only up to 50%. So I think the best way to use him is to put him on Elbrus and counter and just rely on his defense break to defense break. That's pretty much it. The pros of Mortalix is that he is immune to sleep and stun, which people do forget, including myself. The defense break on his S1 is very nice with Rage because it ignores all resistance. His S3 also causes injury and gives a self-heal, which is pretty nice, but sadly, that is it. The cons to Mortalix aren't very many, but they are very severe. The activation for his S1 is only 50%, and the activation for Sacred Blessing, which you need to crit for it to even work, is a 40%. Not only that, Sacred Blessing is pretty much trash. It gives anti-crit for your entire team for 1 turn, which nobody cares about, then speed buff to himself for what? So he can do nothing but faster? He is in severe need of a buff because right now he's pretty much garbage. But if you do want to build Mort, I would put him on a bruiser support build. You throw him on a counter set with maybe a secondary crit, unity, or health set. Immunity would be nice, but it is not needed because he cannot be stunned. Then you put on some decent crit damage. Pretty high crit chance still because you do need him to crit to activate the S2, which is trash, so I guess that's your choice. A ton of health because you do need him to do damage and to also live. Some decent speed so that he can actually rotate his S2 and his S3. As for artifact, you do want Elbrus because you have the combo of the Elbrus counter and the regular counter set for him to defense break on his S1 because he will have Rage, which will ignore all resistance. However, I did not choose Hit as a secondary set because technically he only has like a 25% chance of ever needing effectiveness at all. If you absolutely cannot use Elbrus, I guess I would use Healing Lance, but if you cannot use Elbrus, I just wouldn't try this build. If you don't want him as a support and you want him to do damage, you can do a bruiser damage build. You pretty much use any set you want as long as you can hit the numbers you need. A ton of crit damage, a ton of crit chance, a bit of speed, and a ton of health. More speed the better because you want him to actually move. As for artifacts, you can always use Elbrus because it is a very solid knight artifact. If not, you can use Portrait for the maximum damage output. You can use his own artifact for the crit damage buff on it and the extra crit chance. You can use Healing Lance to put yourself up, maybe. Justice for All is always pretty solid just for the extra buffs, for damage, for defense, heal, whatever else. Yeah, it's up to you. So my final thoughts on Mort, I think I've made it pretty clear throughout this entire video. Is he worth the pull? Definitely not. Unless you just want to look at him shirtless, he is not worth it at all. But if you manage to get him from a daily summon or something, is he worth investing in? I would still say no. If you want, you can throw some random gear on him and just bust him out for fun, or if they have a lot of stuns and sleeps on their team, but instead you can just bring Zeratul because he's way better. And as for the husband rating, I guess some people like him. I'm actually not a big fan of him. I don't actually think he gets that rating. He should actually be a little lower. I think people are a big fan of him just because he rips off his shirt, but other than that, his face is a little arrogant, which I'm not into. He taught Sunny how to kill dragons, which goes against everything I believe in, so yeah, I'm actually not a fan of him. But anyways, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or join the Discord and we'll try to help you out. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with us, and I'll see you guys next time, man. Bye.